of Jim Barney. Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Mike. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. It is our normal time traveling Thursday morning, which could take on, pretty much any kind of metamorphosis if we wanted to, but usually it means our friend Joe the time traveler. We haven't seen Joe yet. He hasn't popped in yet. So, and I'll be honest, I haven't talked to Joe in a couple of days. So, yeah, that's
What did you have to say the last time you talked to him?
Oh, he was. We were just talking about cryptocurrency and that kind of stuff. But we really, I mean, it's understood that Thursday, is a standing thing. So I don't know if he got caught up this morning or what's, but he's just
He's out there unloading the truck.
not. It could be. It could be. I don't think he does that. I think he has people that does that. So so I have a question for you, Jim. Like, if we're gonna get right into the whole time travel thing, before Joe signs on. If you could time travel back, where would you go, or how far would you go, and why would you do it? Now, sometimes the answer is, I'm not doing it at all, but and that could be your answer. But
Well, uh, I guess I could have a number of answers to that, really, Mike. But probably my first answer would be to go back to my childhood.
okay,
Okay. And when I say my childhood, I'm talking, probably like 10, 11, 12, and up. And through through my early my 20s and maybe even into my 30s when you know one of the things that I feel bad about is
hmm,
that the young people growing up today are never going to have the same experiences I had growing up.
right, okay,
And I often said to my parents that they lived right at the pinnacle of the elderly. The elderly never had it as good as they did, and they won't have it that good in the future either. And I say the same thing of myself as a young man, as a young boy, young man growing up, that I lived right at the pinnacle of what was best about this country.
so
So
how
I would go back to my those early ages. Now, in as much as my family has been around here since at least 1624 and maybe earlier, um, I think that I inherited the genes from my mother's family. Namely, they were all farmers for a few hundred years,
right?
and I think I have the dirt in my genes. I walked around in the dirt with my dad as soon as I could probably walk.
Yeah.
I've always gardened.
So that's a time period that you perhaps miss.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
A lot of times people will say, well, I want to go back, in time because I want to fix something. There's something that I want to right a wrong. Um, is that I mean, let forget the fact that there's a butterfly effect or anything like that. But if you could, if you could do that, are there wrongs that you would attempt to change over? You don't have
Are
to
you
say
are
what they
you are you
are.
are you talking about me personally? Or are
It
you
could be
talking?
any situation. It's something that
Yeah,
you
I'd, I'd go back to the Civil War and try and prevent it from ever happening because after much cogitation and thought on it,
Mhm,
I believe the South was right. And not only that, when they created that government, original government,
mhm,
it was fully understood that every state had the right to secede. And in fact, long before the South seceded, New England was spent years talking about seceding from the Confederation and the
mhm.
and the colonies.
All right. So
We
so
killed we killed 600,000 people during the Civil War, which is more than almost any other.
it's one of the bloodiest wars ever.
Yep. And we were killing our brothers and our parents.
Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning, Linda. I have a question for you two ladies that have said hello. in the chat group. What would you do if you could go back in time? What time period would you go to? Would it be earlier in your own life, before your life? If you could essentially time travel, where would you go? Now, Jim, what about the future? Would you want to time travel into the future?
No,
Okay. Why?
because I think the future is bleak.
Well, what if there was something that you could change? What if there was something that you could go to, say, 2065? I'm just picking a number. Well, and you went there and you saw how bleak it was. And you knew that if you came back to 2021, there was something that you could do to change it or to try to fix, something that happens in the future. Would that be something that you would be interested in doing? Or do you think or do you just let the cards fall where they are?
Well, there was a lot of different facets to that question, really.
Yes.
I believe that we all have a destiny, and
Yep.
can that destiny change? Yeah, I believe that it can, because we have free will of choice.
Mhm.
But in answer to your question, I don't see that for me. No.
Okay. All right. Kimberly, I was talking about your choice to go in the back and go back in the future and go back to the Civil War. And she said, "What a selfless choice." Love that, Paul.
She thinks I'm Paul.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. And she goes, "Oh, Jim, thought it was Paul." So there you go. There you go. I myself, I don't know. I would be afraid to go back in the future myself.
Well, how
Just
how do
because.
you go back in the future?
Oh, you caught what I just said, didn't
You
you?
did.
All right,
And
all
I don't
right.
usually listen that carefully.
Right. Back to the Future is a movie, right? Where you go to the future, come back. That's kind of what I asked you. I don't know if I would go to the future at all. I don't know if I would go to the past if I had the opportunity. And I'll tell you why.
So you're very comfortable sitting right where you are today.
Kind of. But let me explain why. I'm comfortable enough not to go back. And the reason is I have 3 kids. I don't want to go back, in a time machine and mess that up.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that I don't meet their mom, or whatever. And everything changes. Kind of like Back to the Future, the movie. Marty McFly goes back to the 1950s, and the whole idea is he's got to get his parents to kiss, so they fall in love.
Totally
Otherwise,
unfamiliar with it, Mike. I don't.
well, put it this
I
way.
don't do movies.
So let's say that your parents hated each other, but it was your job to go back and have them meet and fall in love. Because if they don't, then guess what? You don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
You don't exist.
I have thought about that.
So.
But at this stage in my life, I think one of the important things to me, besides my family, is if I can. I have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot of
Mhm.
general knowledge. I'm not an expert in anything.
Yep.
But if I can help, or if I can teach a young person something that some of my skills, I think that's extremely critical and
Yeah.
important to me.
So okay, so we have a bunch of comments coming in about what we're talking about. So Daryl says, "Why does the future have to be bleak? Other generations have said that the current generation is messing things up, but yet I think we can get better and better." Okay, it's optimistic.
I'm glad he's optimistic. But just look around. Just look around at what's going on in the world, and I just I just don't foresee it. I foresee us
Yeah.
um, becoming basically slaves
Okay.
to
Becky says good morning, by the way.
to the one world government
One world
and the
order.
one world currency.
Kimberly answers the question. To answer your question, I don't think I would go back personally because I believe everything that has happened in my life has made me who I am today.
That's a good comment.
Okay. So now here's another question. If you go back and you make the changes when you travel back to your initial timeline, are you different?
Well, you didn't. That wasn't part of your initial question about traveling back.
No,
Okay?
that's why that's another question.
All right. I mean, I think part of the reason for maybe going back is to see if I have the courage, the stamina that my forefathers had, whether I can do it. I
Okay.
guess it's a personal challenge.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Let's see. Linda says it's a hard decision. It is a hard decision. Joanne says I would go back and tell my parents how much I loved them and thank them for everything.
Great comment.
There you go.
And I guess I would say the same. I mean, I was fortunate. Well, I think most of us were pretty fortunate that we had um, good parents. And I mean, I know certainly we were instilled with the um, I don't know what the word is. I want that to I guess to do unto others as you want done to
Right.
yourself. You know.
Hey, Kimberly or Becky, go on the Discord and see if you can get Joe. Ask him where the heck he is. No. It is a hard decision to make. I don't know. I mean, I would be afraid to cause a ripple in time
Well, maybe
to change things.
maybe we've already caused ripples in times. Maybe
It's
we've
very
been here
possible,
before. I mean, I know people who absolutely believe they've been here before.
Is that deja vu?
I don't know.
Donna Marie says hello from Ireland. Good morning, Donna Marie, and good morning, Linda. Linda from Chaplin, I believe.
Yeah,
We have two Lindas in here now.
do we ever get any Scotch people up there?
I guess maybe we've had people.
Scotch from both sides.
I'd like to drink some Scotch right about now.
Can't stand it.
Really? I'm a Scotch fan. Definitely a Scotch fan.
Probably sipped it once and spit it out.
But in retrospect to that, I don't drink a lot.
Neither do I.
I don't. I mean, I only drink on like auspicious occasions, like sundown. But that's really about it.
I might have a beer if we have a pizza.
Just for the pizza, huh?
Typically, yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you could go back in time and change something, and your goal was to change something to affect the outcome of 2021, what would it be?
I don't know, and I'm not sure I want to try and, well, I was going to say I'm not sure I want to try and change anything in the future, but I guess that kind of is inconsistent with my statement that I think it's a bleak world out there too at the moment.
But if you could, wouldn't that be almost like a driving force to do something to change that? Or do you just or you just say screw it? You know, you're on your own. Good night.
No, maybe if I was a lot younger, Mike, maybe I would have that drive and that desire. I think it's time for some of the young people to step up and fill that gap.
Okay.
It's almost like you're doing an interview with me.
Kind of am.
Am I sure I want to do that?
I don't know. You can always say, shut up, Mike. You know, I don't want to do that. I'm interested, really. I mean, just because I'm curious on what you would say. I listen to everything you say, Jim. I mean, when you talk, I mean, I listen implicitly. So
maybe that's a mistake, Mike.
No, I don't think so. I think I I take a lot of your knowledge, whatever you put out there, and I digest that.
Well,
So I like to
I
hear what your views are on things.
well, I'm pretty closed as far as putting a lot of stuff out there. I mean, you and I have talked about a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that I would never put out on the air.
Sure. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Good morning to Susie, who's in Florida. Laura's there, and Alicia De La Cruz, Lida. We talked about the other folks that are there. Again, let me ask you guys if anybody out there in Chatville, if you could go back in time, would you? And why? Would you and why?
I always used to say 18 was probably the most fabulous time. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a car, I had a job, I had money in my pocket, and I had friends to do things with.
If I could go back and take the knowledge that I have today.
Oh, now that's another story.
You'll see that I think that would be understood to do that. I would go back to high school because I had 4 wonderful years in high school. 4 wonderful years. How do I make them better? I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and screw it up.
Yeah.
But I really did. I mean,
I didn't care for high school at all. I wasn't one of the cool kids.
I wasn't one of the cool kids in the respect that I wasn't cliquey.
Yeah.
I didn't hang out in cliques. I hung out with everybody. I was a band geek, was what I was. Okay. I was the fat kid that played tuba. Literally.
We had big lungs.
Yeah. and big shoulders to carry that big ass thing. I wouldn't change that. That was some of the best times of my life.
Like I said, my best times were when I was 18.
I loved the big hair. I loved the girls with the big hair. Just did. I did. Alicia says yes to talk to my mom one last time. Isn't that almost making it worse? And Alicia, I don't mean that disrespectfully. I was in the band to meet girls, and I was pretty damn successful in high school. Let me tell you. And I parlayed that when I started DJing in clubs. Those were the days. Those were the. Oh, yeah.
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 I mean, I'd go back to my 1950 Chevrolet that I'd put a quart of oil in every morning.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a bit of a slut.
Not sure what that means in your connotation.
That's true. I hate to say it. Yeah. Laura says, if I didn't have a specific reason to go back in time, I don't think I could do it. I would be too afraid to mess something up that would negatively affect or drastically change my current life. And that's probably why I would.
Sounds like she has a good current life, and that's wonderful.
Yeah. But I think even if your life isn't great now, do you want to change it and make it worse?
My life is great.
Yeah, I mean, mine is not horrible that I would want to change anything.
I mean, I've been blessed.
Mhm.
I've done a multitude of different things. If I have any regrets about my life, there's a few people I probably have hurt, mostly women that I dated at one time or another, and I regret that.
You heartbreaker.
Oh.
I don't think I would go back because of multiple reasons.
Well, explain.
Number one, my kids, because I don't know how that would change. And I would be the one that would screw it up and go back and, think that I could make things better in my own life and realize that I had it pretty good to begin with. and just make it worse? And then do I then go ahead and do I screw up, my kids, and then, or they're even them being in existence. And then I come back to my current timeline and I find out, that I see my oldest daughter and I say, "Hey, how you doing?" You start to go, "Who are you?"
Well, you're making an assumption that you can come back to your current timeline, and
Right now you can go up, back, sideways.
No, that's not what Joe says. He's frozen. He's
Joe's
frozen.
not here. Joe's not here right now. So we can talk about whatever. You could be in a Wonka Vader and go up and down, sideways, backwards, whatever, twirl around and do a pirouette. You
Well,
can do anything you want.
well, I guess I'm not convinced you can jump back and forth like a yo-yo. Okay.
Marty McFly did. Marty. Kimberly says, "My life isn't great and I still wouldn't want to change anything. I'm living through the experience." Okay.
How do you make your life better, Kimberly?
We'll wait for her response if she cares to respond to that one. So anyway, then I come back to my current timeline, and then I see my kids, and I look at them, and they go, "Well, who are you?" Because I did something that now all of a sudden I'm not their dad,
Mm-hmm.
and I came back, and some other man has fathered them. That would absolutely destroy me. Just gone. And it's like, all right, well, at this point, I might as well just float around time wherever I go. But
Possibility. I mean,
huh?
is that Joe trying to come in?
No,
Oh,
no, I don't know what's up.
and I had a couple of questions for Joe this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't talked to Joe in about 2 days.
Well, maybe the quantum computer that's controlling him has brought him back to his future time travel. As you say, you can jump back and forth, and so he's no longer with us.
I don't know. I mean, he's on other venues. He's on other social media platforms. So I'm not sure if he's I belong to a group, a cryptocurrency group. We talk crypto and try to learn different things and trends and charts, and he's part of that. And I have not been in that it's on a thing called Discord, and I haven't been on it in a couple of days just because I've been just flat out. Like last night, I was at town hall last night till about 9:45, waiting for the vote to come back.
Mm-hmm. How many people voted actually?
Less than 800.
Less than 800. Yeah, we were speculating probably less than 1,000.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah.
You were right. So, Linda says Joe time traveled to SNSN. Yeah, Joe, where are you? So
I can't hear you. I'm on another plateau.
he might be. I have no idea where he is. But then again, I haven't been in what we call the Discord for a couple of days.
And maybe he's been recalled as a defective product.
James, that is awful.
Just being realistic.
Oh my
God! All right, I can
go ahead. You hit.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. You're playing around with crypto.
Yeah.
All right. Years ago, I used to invest in the market a little bit. Okay.
Right.
And I haven't done anything in the market more or less for probably more than 10 years because I came to the conclusion that the market is totally corrupt, and I'm talking about the stock market. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In as much as that you have people out there that are controlling billions of dollars, and they can dump and pump the market at will. All right. And the Securities and Exchange Commission doesn't seem to do much about it. So as a little peon, I think the deck is totally stacked against you. And I'm questioning that I suspect the same thing is going on with the cryptocurrency panacea, or whatever word you want to use at the moment.
Okay.
Any response? And you may have some cryptocurrency listeners out there. I don't know.
There are a few. There are a few that are in the group right now. I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest with you, Kim. However, from what I have learned so far, like for example, here's one, and I think we've mentioned it before, and it's kind of a joke, but Dogecoin is a cryptocurrency right now that is skyrocketing up, and you would talk about people pumping millions and millions of dollars into it, and Elon Musk is doing that, as is Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. So is that pushing the price? Probably. Is the fact that Elon Musk is going to be on Saturday Night Live this Saturday, and there's anticipation of what's going to be said, about what's he going to do with Dogecoin, in his own personal investments. Who knows? But all I know is that Dogecoin has gone from a penny to couple days ago 69 cents. Now it's right around 60. That's a huge gain.
Yeah, certainly.
And
anytime you got a factor of 70 gain, I mean that's.
And then they have, and right now you can look at it too, is that Dogecoin has more capital behind it than GM. Is that fake? That's fiat currency that's being pushed into it.
Well, Mike, a lot of the currency is totally fake anyways. Okay. I mean, we're creating money unbelievably. Our debt is skyrocketing.
Yep.
I can't remember the exact numbers, but I think it was one of the Bushes. They doubled the debt in their 4 or 8 year term that was created over 200 years of debt. Okay. And it seems like it's doubling almost every term. Obama doubled the debt that in his 8 years. Trump, I think, came close to doubling it in only 4 years. This guy that's in the office now is going to double it in 4 days.
Yeah. You ever heard of John Brown's dollar?
I've heard of John Brown. I haven't heard of John Brown's dollar.
He invested $1 in a bank back in the 1700s at a certain interest rate, which the bank is still solvent today. Through different, the account is, of course, it's, changed names and, over and over and over. But he left that $1 or that account to his 13th descendant. The account is now worth something like $14.5 million.
Okay. And, the number of dollars you have is relatively unimportant. What is important is what will it purchase? Okay. Now, the Federal Reserve, which we can thank Woodrow Wilson for, along with World War I, he allowed the Federal Reserve to be created, and basically, the dollar that was there at that time is now worth somewhere on the order of 2 or 3 cents.
Yeah.
So that's the total destruction of our currency. Okay. And the only entity that can destroy our currency, you and I cannot create inflation because we cannot create money. The only entity that can create inflation is the federal government. Okay. So they print, let's say you got $100 in your pocket. They print another $100. Now you get $200 out there vying for the same goods. So now your purchasing power has been cut in half, essentially.
Yeah. So why invest in a devalued currency? I guess is my question, and that's where cryptocurrency comes in.
I mean, it's obvious you don't want to.
If I have a cup,
Yep.
okay, and I purchase that cup for $1,
Yep.
okay, and I give you $1 for that cup.
That's the dollar I gave you.
This is a dollar you found on the ground.
But I still gave it to you.
So now I own this cup for $1.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Somebody comes in, they want to buy this cup or a part of the cup for $2. And it trades and it trades and it trades till it's worth 1 million of these. Those are real dollars that it's appreciated. The actual paper money, you know it, Jim. Every time they send out a stimulus check, every time they come out with a $2 trillion, $4 trillion budget, they're printing money, which cuts this in less than half.
That's exactly what I just said, Mike.
I know. I'm just giving a different analogy, but if you have cryptocurrency or a digital currency where that value is going up because people are investing into it, like a stock, like a Disney, Amazon, GM, whatever you want.
There's a little bit of a difference.
But you can use that that currency to purchase things. It gives you purchasing power as well.
As long as somebody is willing to accept it. Go back to the
Yeah,
tool.
and
Go
that's-
back to
and
the
that's
tulip
growing.
mania in what I don't know the time period. Okay. When one tulip would buy a house, for instance, and I don't know
Yeah.
what the exchange rate was, and then all of a sudden it collapsed, and your tulip wasn't worth a penny. Okay. eh, at least if you have something, there's an old adage: if you don't hold it, you don't own it.
Okay.
Okay. That's why a lot of people like precious metals. But
Silver. Silver's big right now.
But I'm not at all convinced that silver or gold is going to have any value the way we're going, because who's to say that the federal government isn't going to create its own cryptocurrency and they're going to ban everything else. And so even though you might have some precious metals, you won't be able to use them because you'll be arrested for trying to pass them to a grocery store or a gas station. You think that's far-fetched?
No, I don't think anything is far-fetched
Not
anymore.
today, it isn't.
I don't think anything is far-fetched anymore. I really honestly don't. So who knows if that's what's to come in the future. According to Joe, it doesn't really get like that. So, but that's
I mean, he's
Joe.
he's only 7 years ahead of where we are now. He was only 9 years ahead of where we are now.
Right.
Usually my math is pretty good. I don't know what happened there.
You time traveled to 2023. So
I guess I did. Yeah.
So I don't know. Joe has unfortunately not responded to email or text. So
he had a power failure.
I don't know. No, Linda, I didn't trick you at all. She said, Mike, did you trick us to thinking Joe was coming on? Then I'm like, no.
Okay, there's a subtle message there.
Yeah, I don't know how to take that, Linda, to be honest with you.
I mean, I'm only here because Joe. I'm only here because Joe was coming here. I'm not here because Mike is here or Jim is here.
I only came to work because I thought Joe was coming on. So I don't know, Linda. I'll see if I can get you Joe's phone number. You can just talk to him directly. You don't have to mess with this little show.
Well,
whatever.
What can you say?
Whatever. It's all right.
What other comments do we have up there?
It's about it. Where the hell is Joe, basically? Yeah, that's really it. All right, so we've decided that we would or would not go back to the future or back to the past. I say no. Some people will.
You know,
Alicia said that she would go back. She would want to talk to her mother one more time.
yeah, and I said I'd go back to when I was 18.
Hmm.
But you know, Mike, if push came to shove, would I really?
I don't
Would,
know.
would
That's
I
why I
be
asked.
would I be fearful of going back to when I was 18?
That's why I asked, and that's what I said. I would be too afraid because, I don't know if I would, cause some sort of ripple effect, that would damage the existence of my kids in a future timeline.
Well, I mean, I know you weigh quite a bit more than I do, but I don't think you moving to another time frame is going to probably change the axis of the Earth or anything.
So Ted Phillips just jumped in, and Ted, do you not? Attorney Phillips.
No.
Okay. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
That's a very positive
That's a
comment.
very
Thank you.
positive.
Thank you, Ted.
It is. And that's right before he serves you papers that you're going to be sued. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Well, maybe he's not that kind of an attorney.
He's a very kind gentleman.
Well, so maybe he's much more interested in trying to mediate and get the two parties together.
Possible.
Like I say, I don't know the man.
I've never heard anything. I mean, I've talked to him. We've said hello. I said I saw him in Walmart just last week, and I've never heard anything negative about Mr. Phillips.
Can't say that about many attorneys.
There you go. And I've never heard. So anyway. All right, Jim. Well, so much for Time Travel Thursday. At least we filled it up with a little bit of substance and had some great questions and stuff and answers from the people that are in the group this morning. Some come, some lift.
Do you think we talked about things of substance, Mike?
I think pertaining to the subject of time travel, yes. Because it's, this world is one big woulda, coulda, shoulda, Jim.
Well,
So I think that's what it is. Fact Finding Friday. That's
what is fact finding?
I don't know.
Friday?
Linda says, let's have Fact Finding Friday and find out where Joe was today and have him on tomorrow.
Well, you only do an hour on Fridays.
Yeah, we only do an hour. So and we do Stump the Jump with Paul. So anyway, all right. Well, it's gonna wrap it up. It's about 10 minutes of 10 Eastern Standard Time. If anybody sees Joe, say, hey, Joe, we missed you, Joe. So I hope everybody has a great day. Jim, thanks for popping on in, as always.
Yep.
And we'll be back tomorrow morning with Stump the Jump.
You forgot their names, huh?
Yeah, I don't remember any. Who are you? But we're also gonna be doing SNSN Dark, which is gonna be tonight. It's really kind of cool because it's a little less PC, and it's not actually on the radio. It's strictly an internet show, and we're going to be doing that at 9:30. So we'll see what happens there. And usually, we're trying to put guests together for SNSN Dark. That's at 9:30. And watch your local listings on social media.
Where is that? Right here at the station?
I do it from my home office.
Uh-huh.
A home office in Columbus, Ohio.
Well, I was going to invite everybody that wanted to participate to your home office.
You could do that. Not live though, because they wouldn't fit.
Well,
it's 12 by 12.
Get a bigger home.
Jesus Christ. Well, when you're packing millions like Jim, I guess it's easy like that. And you notice he didn't dispute it, which means I
would certainly dispute it.
Millions. Have a good day, everyone. We will see you once again tomorrow, right here on SNSN. Take care.
Hello, I'm Miranda Mahoney, Project Coordinator of Grizzle Pride, your drug-free community coalition. We want to help you keep your kids safe during this challenging time. Social distancing is still in effect, and so is the social host law. Reports are coming in that teens are contracting the virus at underage drinking parties. Parents, allowing underage drinking on your property could land you in jail for up to a year, plus fines. Another reason why you should not provide alcohol to our youth. For more info, go to grizzlepride.org. Grizzlepride.org.